Hello and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Criterion, and this time we look at a new addition to the collection, the 2007 film No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers and releasing on 4K UHD. The Coen brothers arrived with their debut film Blood Simple, released in 1984, 40 years ago, and in a way, their unique and strangely weird style of comic storytelling has revolutionised Hollywood, as many films and directors have been influenced by their way at looking at the worlds that they create. Now, they've surprisingly few films actually in the collection. We only have Miller's Crossing, Blood Simple, and Inside Llewyn Davis so far. Their major commercial accomplishments like Fargo and The Big Lebowski are missing from the collection in favour perhaps of their more outre titles. But the 2007 film No Country for Old Men now joins the collection. It's a neo-Western crime thriller written, produced and edited by Joel and Ethan Coen, and it's based on the highly successful novel written by Cormac McCarthy from 2005. It stars Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem and Josh Brolin, and it's set in the desert of West Texas in 1980. And it contains themes of fate, conscience and circumstance that the brothers had previously explored in their films Blood Simple, Raising Arizona and Fargo. But of course the films and the characters in them are unconnected to this film. There are three main characters: Llewellyn Moss, a Vietnam War veteran and welder by trade, who stumbles upon a sum of money, $2 million to be exact, in the desert, and he's played in the film by Josh Brolin. Anton Chigurh is a hitman who is sent to recover that money, played in the film by Javier Bardem, and Ed Tom Bell, that's Tommy Lee Jones, is a sheriff who's investigating that crime. Now we also have Kelly MacDonald as Moss's wife Carla Jean, and Woody Harrelson as Carson Wells, a bounty hunter seeking Moss and the return of that money. So there's the setup. And what exposition do we get? Well, a lot, thanks to these two talented brothers. They contrast old narratives of the Wild West with modern crimes, suggesting that the heroes of old can at best hope to escape from rather than to triumph over evil. The film is set, as I say, in the year 1980, though the period itself is not signalled with any of the traditional giveaways. Tommy Lee Jones plays Sheriff Ed Tom Bell. Now, he's an intelligent and sympathetic lawman who's preparing to quit after becoming disenchanted with society's inability to deal with a new level of ruthlessness which has occurred amongst the criminal fraternity. He gives a goosebump opening voiceover as well about sending unrepentant young killers to the gas chamber, and this is superimposed over images of the Western terrain photographed by the veteran cinematographer Roger Deakins. The second player we see is a psychopathic hitman, Anton Chigurh, played chillingly well by Javier Bardem. Now, Anton comes to our attention in a more subdued manner, but you quickly sense here that something's not quite right with him. His quiet demeanour is somewhat unsettling. He also has an appalling hairstyle, and he's effectively a serial killer for hire, and a devotee of murder and a connoisseur of fear and victimhood. Now, the scene in which he bullies and threatens the old owner of the gas station is really disturbing. It's always that feeling you get that he could suddenly erupt and unleash violence on another level that hangs over the viewer. Now, the third player is Josh Brolin. He's playing Llewellyn Moss. Now, he's a Vietnam vet. He has innocently stumbled across this drug money while he's out hunting, and he's pursued by Anton and Sheriff Ed Tom. Now, the sheriff knows that Llewellyn is just a good boy who needs protection, and whose wife Carla Jean, played in the film by Kelly MacDonald, is really worried about him. Now, the film proceeds, like McCarthy's novel, to be an apocalyptic annihilation of norms and restraints, and although their adaptation does omit some detail from his book regarding Ed Tom's wartime experiences, for instance, it still has the effect of intensifying the motiveless quality contained within the action. Now, the Coen brothers remain true, though, to the pessimistic severity of the book's ending. Now, of course, we do have a comic tinge to their filmmaking style, which is recognisably present, and much as it was in Fargo, and of course, their predilection for the weirdness of hotels and motels. Now, Old Country for Old Men is as good a film as the brothers have ever made. It involves elements of the thriller and of the chase, but it is essentially a character study, and it's an examination of how people meet and deal with a man that is so evil, so cruel, and unfeeling of any remorse for his actions whatsoever, that it's simply difficult to even comprehend him. The bounty hunter is played by Woody Harrelson, and he makes a statement: he has his principles. And now there's a nod here to the superb cinematography from the expert award-winning Roger Deakins, and the editing, of course, by the Coen brothers themselves, plus the score from their regular collaborator Carter Burwell. To be honest, their films wouldn't sound the same without his scores, really akin to Danny Elfman and Tim Burton. Now, many of the scenes in No Country for Old Men are so flawlessly constructed by these two brothers that you want them to simply continue, and yet they create an emotional suction that draws you into the next scene. The performances given by Bardem, Brolin and Lee Jones are brilliant, and they're ably supported as well by Woody Harrelson and Kelly MacDonald. They're also incredibly good. Now, I just mentioned the use of milk in the film. It foreshadows something to occur later, but of course I'll not say exactly what that is, as that would be a major plot spoiler. Now, No Country for Old Men is a 4K restoration from the original camera negative, and I can happily say there's going to be very little to complain about here. It's filmed with Aricam LT, Cooke S4, Zeiss Master Prime and Arri macro lenses on Aricam Light cameras using film stock, and every scene has been storyboarded. The attention to detail here in the images and the way they are presented only enhances the viewing experience from any previous Blu-ray iteration of this film. Editing was done on Final Cut Pro software by the Coen brothers themselves, and when Llewellyn Moss bends down on one knee to take his watch out and hold it up to the sun, the watch itself used in this scene was a Timex Camper dark green model with a matching fabric strap. No Country for Old Men comes new to the Criterion Collection as a 4K Blu-ray combo, with a new 4K digital master supervised and approved by director of photography Roger Deakins, with 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. As always, we get one 4K UHD disc of the film, and that's presented in Dolby Vision HDR, and one Blu-ray with the film and these special features. New conversation between filmmakers Joel and Ethan Coen and author Megan Abbott. New conversation between Deakins and associate producer David Diliberto, also featuring Abbott. Archival interviews with the actor Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones and Kelly MacDonald. Behind the scenes documentary by Brolin. There are 3 documentaries about the making of the film itself, featuring on-set footage and interviews with members of the cast and the crew, and an essay written by the author Front Scene Prose, and a 2007 piece on the film by author Larry McMurtry. And the striking illustration for the cover is by Juan Esteban R. Winner of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor for Javier Bardem, this darkly deadpan Borderlands noir keeps both the tension and the existential unease mounting throughout each cruelly ironic twist of fate. The film has a running time of 122 minutes and comes in a 2:3:9:1 aspect ratio in 4K UHD, releasing on Tuesday, the 10th of December, Aspine 1243. Next time in Let's Talk Criterion, we'll be taking a look at a new Janus Contemporary release starring Léa Seydoux and George Mackay. That's Bertrand Bonello's The Beast. Also coming soon, we have the 4K upgrade of Federico Fellini's 8.5. So until next time, from me, as always, it's goodbye, and above all, good Criterion viewing.